Hey, what's going on, guys? So we actually tried to we started a match already, but my Blastoise is actually level 100. I forgot to set that one to level 50, so we did have to restart the game. Unfortunately, we were only 2 turns in, so we can just recreate the battle because not much did transpire there. But that was a little unfair, me having a level 100 Blastoise when everything else was level 50. So yeah, basically going into my first choice. Yes, we were. We are recreating. Recreating. So going into my first move, I didn't think he was going to be lead Lego, just because it does look like his late game sweeper. So I'm going to lead. I was going to lead off with my Lickilicky, as he leads off with his Slowbro, thinking that I can toxic basically anything that comes in, except obviously the Nihilego. And if he does leave Nihilego or switches into it on a toxic, then I can just go for a knockoff here. I saw the Slowbro here, and I did not want it to start set up Calm Mining, because if it is a Calm Mind rest set, that could be pretty problematic, because obviously I cannot toxic stall him down. So I'm going to go into my Blastoise here. We are recreating, and he's going to go for a Scald here. Okay, he did not get a Scald Burn, which is very nice. And then I expected him to switch out here because he's not going to want to take a Dark Pulse. So I'm going to go for my own Scald. But as you see, he does switch in. Or stay in, sorry. And that's unfortunate because... so in the original, there were no Scald Burns passed around. As you guys saw, I did get in a Scald Burn. So that's a little unfortunate. So, when I was level 100, like, my Scald did 90% to him, and I was like, what? How did that even happen? And then, of course, I did realize I was level 100, so we were like, okay, we gotta restart this. So now you guys are completely caught up. This is going to be a live commentary from here on out. We did get that Scald Burn, and I'm just going to go for a Dark Pulse here. Because even... Alright, here's the P2. Download P2. This could be a problem. So Dark Pulse did 24, which means Aura Sphere is going to be doing twice that, so that's around 40%, which is good to know. Let's see here. I believe for my calcs, it's been a while since I made that team builder video, so I don't exactly remember all the calcs, but I believe Close Combat did around 60% to P2, so I do just need a bit more chip damage. How important? My Blastoise is pretty important, actually, just to make sure I can handle that Slowbro. I could go into my Mew here to set up my Stealth Rocks, potentially break a Sash on the Nihilego, although he doesn't have anything that's really weak to it, so maybe not. He's probably definitely going to go for a Thunderbolt here. And I have one Thunderbolt resist, and it's not the most especially defensive. And I definitely want to keep my Tyrantrum healthy because it can put in a lot of work late game. Shoot. Fortunately, he doesn't have the best Infernape switch in, so this Infernape is looking like 100% my win con. I think I'm going to go into my Mew. I think it's my best move. Unless he goes for a Shadow Ball, he can't really do too much to me, and I can kind of scout. If he goes for the Toxic, then I do have the Synchronize. Very nice, yes. That is great to see. I will gladly take that trade. And I'm going to set up my Stealth Rocks here because it's a pretty no drawback play. He does not have any hazard removal, which is really nice. And it's going to be, even though, like I said earlier, there's no real Stealth Rock weak Pokemon, it's going to be really nice to get that chip damage off. So we see the Toxic, the Recover. He might have Bolt Beam. He might have Shadow Ball. Porygon just has such a huge move pool. It's really difficult. Russia. Porygon just has such a huge move pool. It's really hard to figure what he's going to go for. I'm going to go into Lickilicky here. Hope he stays in, because Lickilicky can definitely eat any hit that he goes for. And I can fire off a knockoff, hopefully getting rid of this thing's Eviolite. He might go out into Slowbro, which could definitely take the knockoff, no problem. But this is a pretty no drawback play, I think. He's definitely taking his time making his decision. I think Slowbro is the only thing standing in the way of an Infernape sweep. Well, not exactly a sweep, because it is Scarfed and I can't exactly change up my move. But, okay, so we do see the Ice Beam, so that does make me think that this is a Bolt Beam Porygon 2, so Ice Beam, maybe Discharge and or Discharge or Thunderbolt, Toxic Recover. So he's probably going to go out into Slowbro here. He definitely doesn't want to take a knockoff. He might not expect a knockoff because Lickilicky definitely has a lot of things it can go for. He might expect a Wish or maybe a Heal Ball to make sure my Mew is healthy. But I am going to go for the knockoff. If he goes into Slowbro, then that's that. I can go back in my Blastoise. Or into my Zapdos. Zapdos is also a really good play for the Slowbro. Oh, he goes into Mamoswine. So that's really nice to get rid of this thing's Life Orb, which is actually huge. What's his play? I could go into Mew, install, and definitely 1v1 this thing with Giga Drain. I'm going to go for a Wish though, as he goes for a Stealth Rock. So that means that basically anything that Mamoswine goes for, I'm most likely going to get my Mew back up to close to full, if not all full. You could go for a knockoff here to get rid of my leftovers, which would definitely be an annoyance, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And then I can 1v1 this thing with Giga Drains. He does not bring the Crocodile. Well, there's the Jolteon, which is interesting. So I'm going to get my Wish up and take a little bit of toxic damage. I could defog here and get rid of my rocks. I don't think I want to do that quite yet. I really want to see this Jolteon set, so I think I'm just going to go for a Soft Boiled. Because, yeah, I'm just going to go for a Soft Boiled, kind of, and then depending on what he goes for and the damage, I can go over to this damage calc. And let's see, my Mew. Defensive, hold on, let me see. Oh, he goes for the Shadow Ball, which does it does 46%. I am at, and Jolteon, Odd Attacker, Shadow Ball. So that looks like a low roll. We did not see the Life Orb. Oh, we did see the Life Orb. Nope. No, that's just Rocks damage. Never mind. I'm just being silly. So Shadow Ball, that is definitely not Specs damage. That looks like a high roll no item, or maybe Expert Belt. Let's see no item. Yeah, so that is not no item unless he's modest. So let's see Expert Belt. Yeah, I'm thinking that might be an Expert Belt Jolteon. So I could definitely just go right back out into Lickilicky. And I can get some like Protect Shenanigans off. I can eat anything, any hit he wants to go for. Which is what I'm going to do. He's probably going to go for a Volt Switch here. Yeah, there's the Volt Switch, which is definitely a very good play on his part. And he's probably going to go out into Slowbro or maybe Heracross. If he goes out into Heracross, then I'm just going to Protect to see. I think I'm either going to... Yeah, I'm just going to go for a Protect because then I can either see... He might be Flame Orb Guts, so that if I get off the Protect, then I'll see that activates. If not, then I'm going to assume he's choiced in some manner, either Banded or Scarfed. And then depending on what he locks himself into, then I can go out into the appropriate Mon to take that, most likely Zapdos. Because if he's not Guts and I do have the Static, then that will be really nice to get that to activate, maybe get the potential Paralyze on that Heracross. He goes out into the Nihilego. I do not know what this thing wants to do. Let me just check. I am at Lickilicky. Swords Dance. I'm level 50. 252. And I have like 136 special defense. Alright, there's Lickilicky and Nihilego. Let's just check choice specs. Obviously I don't have Earthquake, so that's not going to do much. And choice spec Sludge Bomb does maximum 55%. Now I'm at 65. So I'm going to go for a knockoff here because unless he gets a crit, Sludge Wave... Oh, so that is definitely not specs damage. And, oh, it was specs damage? That must have been... That was just a low roll. What? So Sludge Bomb, which is less than Sludge Wave, does a minimum of 47%. And that Sludge Wave, and we did see it with specs, did 40%. Am I doing calcs wrong? I don't quite understand. So, either way, that is definitely a weird set. I'm just going to go for a Protect here, get some Lefty's Recovery. So the fact that his Nihilego is specs, that leads me to believe that his Heracross is in fact Scarfed, and is his late game sweeper. So he's just going for Sludge Waves here. I could go out into Tyrantrum. No, I'm just going to go for a Wish here because now that Specs is knocked off, he cannot knock me out without a crit. Very nice. And I'm just going to get my Lickilicky nice and healthy. I am playing the long game here, but as it's looking, Lickilicky is putting a lot of work as a defensive mon, so I definitely just don't want to let it go down. I'm going to go for a Protect here because, like I said, I do think that this Heracross is choice Scarfed. So I just want to see what he's locking himself into. And I do get some Lefty's Recovery outside of that, so it's pretty crack play. So this is definitely a really fun match because I'm sorry if I get this wrong, but I believe Matt has not won a game so far, and we on the other hand have not lost a game. So this is definitely a fun match where either I win and we both kind of continue our streaks, or he wins and we get our first loss and he gets his first win. So it's definitely a really fun match. Of course I want to win because, I mean, it's a competitive league. If I don't want to win, then what am I doing? But winning is definitely not as important for us because I believe even if we do get a loss, we are still ahead in our league. So he goes for Stone Edge here, which I know I can take. So I'm just going to go for a knockoff, get rid of this guy's Choice Scarf, or he's going to switch out into Mamoswine. And we'll see this damage to 17%. And I could see him going for a knockoff here to try to get rid of my leftovers because we saw he has Life Orb, so he probably has Earthquake, and maybe Ice Shard, and then either Icicle Crash or knockoff. I could probably the knockoff. And like I said, this thing is putting in a lot of work as a defensive mon, so I really want to keep my lefties on. So I could either go into Blastoise, which can take the knockoff, but if he goes for Earthquake, I don't think I could take 2 Earthquakes, and he probably outspeeds me as well. I could stay in. No, I'm going to Protect. I'm really sorry, Matt, if I'm playing the Stolly game, but I just want to scout for what you want to go for. He does go for the Earthquake, which leads me to believe he's not carrying the knockoff. So he probably sees that I see the Earthquake, obviously, so he might expect the Zapdos switch in. So you might expect the Zapdos switch in and try to go for an Icicle, or an Ice move, Icicle Crash maybe. So I could go into Mew. Actually, I think that's going to be my play, because Mew is defensive. It can take anything that Mamoswine wants to go for. Yeah, there's the Icicle Crash. He expected the Zapdos switch in. Matt's getting a little aggravated about the Lickilicky. Lickilicky! So I could soft boiled here. I think I'm just gonna Giga Drain though. I can get some Oh, so he is a speedy Mamoswine, and Mew takes out the Mamoswine, which is very nice to see. And Mew is getting worn down. I do have one more Stealth Rock switch in, so I can potentially come in and defog at a later date. I think I can defog against the Slowbro or against the P2. And here's the Jolteon. So he's probably he's going to Volt Switch. He's definitely going to Volt Switch because it knocks out the Mew. And if I want to switch, then it gets him a free switch in. I could go into Infernape because I am positive. Let me just double check. Jolteon, All Attacker. I'm pretty sure you are Expert Belt. Expert Belt, you're level 50. Versus Infernape, Choice Scarf. You are level 50. Volt Switch does about 50%. And then I can get a slow U-turn off because he'll probably get, or not slow U-turn, but he'll probably go into Slowbro on that. So I think I am going to go into Infernape. It's a little risky. But I know I can take one Volt Switch, which he's probably going to go for. And then get a U-turn off on these Slowbro. So that's what I'm going to do. I may regret it, but I don't think I really need HP on my Infernape because I can clean up with Close Combat later on. Jolteon is in range of a Close Combat and or a Flare Blitz. So I'm just going to go for a U-turn here. And if he has Rest, he's going to go for it now. I'm just going to go safely into Blastoise. He has a Slack Off. So it's very nice he doesn't have the Rest. Because that means Burn can keep getting the chip damage on it. Here I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse because last time I went for Scald. So might as well go for the Dark Pulse. And Blastoise knocks out the Slowbro, which is very nice. So we are looking pretty good here. Porygon is on a timer because it is toxic. Lickilicky is around 50%. And then Jolteon is in range of a Close Combat. And Heracross is in range of a Flare Blitz. So it looks like Infernape won't be able to sweep because if it takes Flare Blitz recoil, then I'm pretty sure that'll put me in range where I won't be able to switch out and back in onto Stealth Rocks. So here's the Jolteon. And the Slowbro is gone, and I don't really see any reason to keep my Blastoise around. Because it outsped and hit hard by 3 of his Mons, and can't really 1v1 the Porygon 2. So I'm just going to go for Scald here. He's going to knock me out. And now I can pretty safely go into Infernape. I believe... Hold on, let me see here. What does Heracross... Choice Scarfer... Flare Blitz, Close Combat does around 35 to 40%. And so after Rocks, it looks like Close Combat is a 2-hit KO. So I can go for Close Combat here. Basically something dies. Unless I get 2 low rolls on the Heracross, which would be very unfortunate. But yeah, he has no switch-ins to this thing, I'm pretty sure. I'm kind of sad that Zapdos hasn't been getting much love. Like, I keep bringing it, and I'm bringing some cool sets, but like I just never really find opportunities for it to hit the field. It did not have the best matchup this week, unfortunately, because it does have the Jolteon, which of course has the Volt Absorb, so I can't freely come in Volt Switch and or Thunderbolt. But I really wish that Zapdos was putting in more work. So we do take out the Jolteon, which is very nice, and he's probably going to go into Heracross right here. I mean, Heracross is really his only switch in. I believe, what's Porygon? Yeah, Porygon is not in a range where it can take a close combat. Or maybe he doesn't go into Heracross? I feel like that's 100% his play though, because if he goes into Nihilego, my Infernape definitely outspeeds and destroys it, and it destroys the Porygon. So Heracross is really his only play, but I really think once Heracross is gone, then Infernape just kind of takes the game here. So I noticed when I was recording the video versus Rodney yesterday, or when I was editing the video, I noticed the music was a little loud. So my apologies if the music is a little quiet for this video, but I just didn't want to repeat that where you guys can't. It's a struggle to hear me talk throughout the video. So yeah, my apologies if it's a little quiet. So maybe yeah, that's 100% his play. I think I sack Mew here, and then just go back out into Infernape. Is that my play? How do I take out this Heracross? Let's see here. I go into Mew. No, because then he gets a Moxie boost. I think what I have to do... Yeah, I have to sack my Mew. See what he locks himself into. So he goes for the Stone Edge. And there's the Moxie. So I have to go into Infernape. And I have to go for Flare Blitz. Lickilicky might be able to take. Let's see here. Heracross, you are at +1. What can you do to Lickilicky? Blank set. You2. You are level 50. And Lickilicky, you have 139 defense. Stone Edge. Oh, whew. Lickilicky, you are so beautiful. I love you. So I'm just going to go for a knockout here. He can either go into the Nihilego and basically sack it, or into Porygon to get rid of its Eviolite, or he gets rid of the Choice Scarf on the Heracross. I just love Lickilicky. Or he is not Choice Scarfed, and he goes for the close combat, knocks me out, but then I can go out into Zapdos to revenge kill it because I believe I outspeed. Right? Hold on, what's your base speed? 150. Zapdos is 167, yeah. So if he's not locked into Stone Edge and goes for close combat, I just go right out into Zapdos. Yeah, so there's some Nihilego. There's a smart play on his part. And no reason not to go for Wish. Basically, he has to go for Sludge Waves and hope for a poison. So looks like if I don't, yeah, there's a Sludge Wave. It does 28%. And I can just go for a knockoff here. Sludge Wave does 27%. He does not get the poison, and I'll get my Wish plus leftovers. And what does I forget? It was so long ago since I made this team. Defensive tank. You're level 50 versus Tyrantrum. If I can type, please. Tyrantrum. You are Choice Scarf. Hit Smash does. So I might as well protect so I can see what he locks himself into. Goes for close combat, so that gives me a super free switch into Zapdos, which he has to see. Do I live? I should have kept that calc up. Lickilicky. Blank set. Level 50. Do I live? Close combat. No. Close combat. Heracross. At neutral. Close combat if I'm 252. And what was it? Combat does 80 to 94%. So as long as he doesn't get a crit. Okay. Whew. Get rid of that Eviolite. And now I could go into Tyrantrum. And without the Eviolite, he cannot take a head smash. Unless I miss a head smash, you know. I mean, that can happen. I suppose that's fair though, because I didn't make all those head smashes versus who was it? Versus Jacob. But now he can safely go into Heracross, and he cannot lock himself into one move to take down the rest of my team. I could save Differential. He's probably going to go for the close combat here, and I can go into Zapdos. Or I could just play it safe, which I think I'm going to do. He goes for the close combat, which is fair. And let's give Infernape the kill. Go for Flare Blitz. So we keep our undefeated victory. Once again, Zapdos did nothing. I'm definitely going to try to make it do more things in the future. But yeah, it's what it is. What it is. Lickilicky doing what it does best and just takes hits for days. I love Lickilicky so much. Yeah, but great game to Matt. He definitely played pretty well. Did not expect the Slowbro. But best of luck to you. I know you've been having a rough season. I know you've had trouble with the team building and all that stuff. So I really hope that you can get more time and start coming back, because I know you're a great battler. Thanks for tuning in, guys.